Jesus walked among us, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. He understood our pain, our fears, and our deepest longings. His heart overflowed with compassion for the hurting, the lost, and the forgotten. He didn't come to condemn, but to heal, to restore, and to offer hope. From the dusty roads of Galilee to the bustling streets of Jerusalem, Jesus' ministry was marked by love in action. He saw the crowds not as a mass of humanity, but as individuals, each one precious in his sight. His mission was clear: to seek and to save the lost. He came to offer a new way, a living hope and a relationship with God the Father that would last for eternity. He came to change the world, one heart at a time. Word spread like wildfire. "He heals the sick," they whispered. The lame walked, the blind saw, and the deaf heard. Jesus' touch brought wholeness to broken bodies and hope to weary souls. A woman, bent over for years, approached timidly. With a touch, Jesus straightened her spine, and she stood tall, praising God. A leper, outcast and alone, fell at Jesus' feet, begging for mercy. "I'm willing," Jesus said, and instantly the man was cleansed. His miracles were signs of God's power and love, visible expressions of the invisible God reaching down to touch his creation. With each healing, Jesus demonstrated his authority over sickness, suffering, and even death itself. He was the embodiment of God's mercy, offering not just physical restoration, but spiritual renewal. Crowds gathered, eager to hear Jesus teach. His words were unlike anything they had ever heard. He spoke with authority, cutting through religious tradition and human hypocrisy. In the synagogues, he read from the scriptures, revealing their true meaning and proclaiming the arrival of God's kingdom. He taught about love, forgiveness, and the importance of putting God first in their lives. His parables, simple stories with profound truths, captivated listeners and challenged them to think differently. He spoke of a loving father who longed for a relationship with his children. He challenged them to examine their hearts, to turn away from sin and to follow him. Section 4. Reaching out to the lost. The religious leaders scoffed. "Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners?" they sneered. But Jesus saw beyond their outward appearances. He saw hearts longing for forgiveness, lives trapped in sin, and souls yearning for redemption. He dined with Zacchaeus, a wealthy tax collector, and offered him grace and a chance to make things right. He forgave a woman caught in adultery, challenging the hypocrisy of those who condemned her. Jesus' love extended to the outcasts, the marginalized, and the despised. He saw their worth not because of what they had done, but because of who they were, God's beloved children. He came to offer them a new life, a fresh start, and a place at his table. Section 5. A love that knows no bounds. Jesus' love knew no bounds. He touched the untouchable, embraced the unlovable, and offered hope to the hopeless. He came to break down walls of division, to heal broken hearts, and to reconcile humanity to God. His love was unconditional, offered freely to all who would receive it. He didn't wait for people to clean up their act before he loved them. He loved them right where they were, in the midst of their mess and brokenness. His love was transformative, empowering people to love God and love others. He showed us what it means to forgive, to serve, and to lay down our lives for others. He taught us that true greatness is found in humility and that true joy comes from following him. Section 6. Hope for all. Jesus' life, death, and resurrection offer hope for all humanity. He came to set us free from the power of sin and death and to offer us eternal life. His message is simple yet profound. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. John 3:16. He came not to condemn but to save. He came to offer a new way, a living hope, and a relationship with God the Father that would last for eternity. In a world often filled with darkness, Jesus is the light. In a world searching for answers, he is the truth. In a world longing for hope, he is the way.